join us, but I can already see we've got a number of you now entered into the webinar already. Please note that you are in listen-only mode, so you aren't able to use your microphone. However, we've got the question and answer tab, and we do encourage you to please type in your questions and ask them as you go along today, and we will have some Q&A at the end. I now want to hand over to my esteemed colleague, Mohammed Salah, to kick off with an introduction to DigiNation, and then he's going to hand over to some of our colleagues. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for everybody to attend this event. I will do a small presentation about DigiNation for the beginning. Can we go to the next slide, please? Let me introduce myself first. My name is Mohammed Salah. I am the sales manager for DigiNation. DigiNation is a leading digital transformation solution provider in the MEA region that aims to bridge technology gaps in a business-driven world. Why DigiNation? Next, please, Rami. DigiNation, first of all, DigiNation has 5 offices across the region. Our main office in Riyadh. We have office in Jeddah and Dammam, and also we have other 2 offices, one in Cairo and one in Jordan. We are working in more domains. Can we get back again, Rami? We are working most the domains, the rich experience across vertical solutions or vertical fields. We have more than 400 plus customers and across the GCC. We have the best technology partners in each industry or technology. Our team is plus 100 till now. Alhamdulillah, we are more than 100 employees. We work with our customers as a trusted partner. We work together, have a success story together, to have a good success story and get reputation and ethics. So with Highland, DigiNation and Highland Achievement. With Highland, we are a partner with Highland for more than 9 to 10 years now. We have a very good experience with Highland. We have done before 56 customers in these 9 years. 55 of them are active accounts across the globe. We have in the last 3 months, we have 6 projects, 5 in the hospital or the healthcare sector, 4 in the insurance, 1 in banking, 3 in food sector, and 10 government entities or organizations. We have plus 3 customers in logistics. Regarding the team, we have more than 10 ECM consultants plus 10 on-base specialists, and also we have Alfresco developer. Beside all the team members from the project management team, system analysis team, or a business analysis team, and also the QA testing, UI UX designers, and also a great technology team for the architecture design. About the certifications, all of them are certified. This is the industries we are working for: oil and gas, education, and healthcare, telecom, distribution, and especially logistics that we going to talk today. So inshallah, we will have a good presentation. This is the practices we can, DigiNation can help our partners or customers. The first one is the ECM, or the enterprise content management, document management, record management, data capture, also backlog services, OCR, document imaging, the business process management, workflow, collaboration features, case management, agenda management, contract management, and also business process automation. And the RBA, also for the repetitive tasks, both orchestration, shared services automation, and also front and back office bots. And the next stage or the next practice for the low code, we can help you building your digital experience and also multi-touch point mobile applications, cross platforms or native applications for them, Android, iOS, and also tablets and also web and Windows applications. Great UI UX. Also, the business intelligence or the BI technology, we can provide a lot of things for faster answers, self-guided analytics, learn your true values, and also data warehousing and data integration. For the information management, we also provide solutions in print management solution, physical record management, digital asset management, and learning management solution, and electronic faxes. Next, please, Rami. For the ECM solution, as I said, we are a partner for Highland. We can provide the on-base solution and Alfresco also solutions in the document management or the ECM solution, and also for the workflow or the business process management. We have single enterprise information platform and single repository, all of the features in the ECM. This is a brief or a small list of our customers: Ministry of Finance, King Saud Medical City. These customers are related to the last customers. We already did some project there: King Saud Medical City, Elite Hospital, Wala Insurance, so Ministry of Sport, Said, Tabadul, the Said Bank or Saudi Investment Bank, and also Eastern Jeddah Hospital, and Al Munajjim and As-Said Sams. Thank you. I don't want to take so much time from Rami and Mario. So now we are moving to Mario. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Salah. Appreciate the time. Thank you, everyone, for attending this presentation. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Mario Boglione. I'm the territory manager for Highland in the Middle East. I work very closely with the DigiNation team. Just want to give you a quick introduction into who is Highland and why you should select Highland. What you're looking at now is one of our buildings in a place called Westlake, Ohio, just outside Cleveland in the US. We are a US headquarter company with offices all over the world. Can you change, please, the slide, Rami? Thank you. We've been in business since '91. So we turned 30 last December. We're turning 31 this December, so very soon. So we're a mature company. We focus mostly on this product called OnBase. OnBase stands for One Database. I'm hoping that as we go along, this will become more clear. We currently have more than 16,000 active clients in more than 80 countries. We have about 4,500 employees in many offices. The bottom part of this slide, probably tells you a little bit more about, why Highland. On the left, you can see that we re-engage or we reinvest 15% of our revenues, our total annual revenue, back into R&D. Why is this important? Well, this is our commitment into the ECM space. We reinvest more than the majority of our competitors put together into developing, world-class solutions. The second number that I would like to ask you to remember is this 98%. We basically retain customers for life. We truly embrace the concept of customer for life, and this has been in our DNA since day one. We have customers that have been with us for 27, 28 years, and that is, that says it all. We are recognized ECM leaders. You can change to the next slide, Rami, please. So what you're looking at now is the Gartner Magic Quadrant. This is the last one. There's a new one coming very soon. As you can see on the leaders board on the top right, Highland is one of the top ones. We've been there for 12 years, and we'll continue to be there. We continue to invest and keep on developing our solutions. And, this is to guarantee that we are standing on that place. And finally, in 2022, we started sponsoring, the Alfa Romeo Olean team in Formula One. Mr. Valtteri Bottas is our ambassador, and we're very, very proud of this achievement. As you can see, he's holding our logo both in his shoulder and in his car on the halo. And that's it from me. I just want to hand over to Mr. Rami to conduct the bulk of the presentation. And, if you have any questions, there's a Q&A section, and we're here to support you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mario. Mario, just give me a thumbs up. You hear me good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you everybody and welcome to our webinar today. My name is Rami Assaf. I have been at Highland for over 10 years now, mainly focused on building the grassroots for the transportation, logistics, and supply chain industry. Before Highland, I was managing cargo operations at O'Hare Airport in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States for many years. So today's topic is one of the hot topics for the last 2 years, driven by all the events that we are going through, from the pandemic, from the geopolitical problems that we've been going through, which those problems kind of exposed many of the disruptions itself that the supply chain networks were going through already. So before any of those problems, there was already existing problems or disruptions in the supply chain. And then the pandemic and the geopolitical problems that we went through kind of exposed them more and made them more active. And that by itself generated kind of an effect to one problem in the chain that led to other problems later on. So according to a survey that was done by ABQC, which is an organization that specializes in surveying companies within the supply chain and logistics world, it says that 27% of the companies they surveyed said that they reported 10 or more supply chain disruptions in 2020, compared to 4.8 companies in 2019. Now in 2021, that number went up a little bit, and in 2022 it continued facing more disruptions. Maybe the disruptions changed a little bit, but there is ongoing disruptions that's affecting the supply chain in the world. Now, the question to you guys and to my colleagues, also, working in organizations within manufacturing, retail, distribution, or transportation providers. Question would be, how do you get ahead of the next disruptions and maybe the next one? So it's all about planning. Many of the issues that company faced while going through the last couple of years is the lack of planning ahead for what could come and disrupt their business processes. So again, the purpose of this webinar is also to give you some ideas on how you could use technologies and other methods to kind of prepare for the future. So as industries across the world continue to battle the supply chain disruptions, they are striving to optimize execution, diminish risk, identify new ways to gain real competitive advantage. But to achieve these goals, it will be essential to overcome today's intense labor challenges, maximize the latest digital transformation capabilities, streamline sourcing and inventory management, prioritize customer first, customer expectations. It's becoming more and more important that getting ahead of those key trends will enable supply chains to proactively shape a successful and sustainable future. And what do you see on the screen? Those are just some of the the disruptions, some could be internal, not always disruptions coming in an external form. I wanted to share with you, take advantage of today's webinar and share with you a really exciting news to you guys in Saudi Arabia specifically, and the Gulf region in general. So in October this year, the Saudi government launched what's called the Global Supply Chain Resilience Initiative. And this initiative was implemented to position Saudi Arabia as a key link in the global supply chains, looking to drive competitive advantage and improve business resilience. This initiative will bring, in my opinion, the kingdom closer to achieving its Vision 2030, which include putting the kingdom in the top 15 global economy by the year 2030. But what does this initiative focuses on? So there's three major areas that I would like to share with you today. Number one, it will contribute to overcoming the challenges faced by the global supply chains, which have affected the efficiency and growth of the global economy. So they're going to have measures and actions on how they could contribute to that. Number two, it will support the growth of key sectors in the kingdom and aim to attract, I believe, about 40 billion Saudi riyal of investment in the first 2 years alone. And third, there'll be incentives for external investors, financial incentives, and also non-financial support for global investors interested in incorporating Saudi Arabia into their supply chain. Why, or the question would be, what makes Saudi Arabia an attractive investment destination? There's several reasons that I would like quickly to share with you today. Number one, strategic location, connecting 3 continents and within few hours from the most major economic hubs, makes Saudi Arabia very attractive geographically to the rest of the global network. Another reason is the strong economy. With the fastest GDP growth among major economies, especially what was reported in 2022. Also, ambitious sustainability agenda with opportunities in emerging green industries and new supply networks. Saudi Arabia has a robust industrial and logistics infrastructure already existing with over 40 industrial cities and special economic zones. And lastly, competitive production costs are an abundance of raw material available with rapid growth in upstream and downstream industries. So all those reasons, again, make Saudi Arabia a very attractive area for supply chain, or the global supply chain. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the key trends that the industry in general, not just in Saudi Arabia, but globally, witnessed or still witnessing this year, and probably will go well into next year and the year after. So when talking about supply chain resilience and agility, resilience and agility will still be essential to creating flexible networks that can effectively respond to dynamic customer demands and ever-increasing uncertainty. It will most definitely be important to proactively identify ways to increase responsiveness through variable cost structures. However, as there is no one-size-fits-all approach, organizations must also foster continuously innovative cultures. The agile and resilient supply chains of the future will be of those that can react quickly to changes, delays, and unexpected events in order to meet customer expectations. So again, resilience and agility will continue to be one of the top trends. And the next couple trends we're going to talk about will start, you'll see how they relate to supply chain resilience and agility. So the next top trend is visibility will also be a key objective for organizations, especially organizations under pressure to achieve true transformation, to satisfy their customers and capture new markets. People are willing to pay more for, or customers are willing to pay more for ethical and responsible business processes. And this will be a catalyst for investments in supporting technologies. For instance, as the ability to track and trace goods to the source is increasingly expected by consumers. The Internet of Things will continue to revolutionize real-time visibility, looking for new business models and lighten trust and collaboration within and beyond the organizational boundaries. So visibility is also one of the key trends that would support agility and resilience. So they're all related together. Now, the third key trend will also support the first two, which is the digital supply chains. Again, digital supply chains, just like last year, it continue to be essential element of numerous trends. Like I said, you cannot accomplish visibility, you cannot accomplish full resilience and agility without investing in digital supply chains. This list is also some of the top trends that are anticipated to impact supply chain by 2025, and it was done by that same organization that I used an example from earlier. But you see here digitization, technology, big data, mobile technologies, cloud services are some of the top trends that's impacting the supply chain. And this is not just for this year, it's at least for the next 3 years. So definitely when you're working on your digital transformation strategy, it's good to get some idea of what others are thinking and why. Sadly, the COVID-19, many companies still think that it will have an impact up to 2025. Hopefully that's not the case. But again, using technology, investing in technology, it's showing again and again a good way to kind of mitigate all those effects of the pandemic or the problem in the world on the geopolitical reasons. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the evolution of the supply chain and logistics world itself. So Probably you would agree with me that supply chain, logistics, transportation, companies and organizations, or the industry itself is still an ancient industry. Still rely a lot on paper, rely a lot on email, rely a lot on faxes. Sometimes the top technologies I've seen was relying on Excel and Word. A lot of green screens, especially here in the US, just to give you a comparison. We still have a lot of manufacturers, retailers, heavily dependent on like mainframes and green screen. There is also big organizations that have many departments still relying on a lot of paperwork, actual hard copy paperwork, relying on faxes, maybe not typewriter machine. That's a stretch, but they're still relying on communicating through a fax machine. And this is just the reality of this world. Now, what happened the last couple of years is with the pandemic, kind of like putting a pause on a lot of things, and then giving the organization a reason to start thinking outside the box. Many employees were staying home. They couldn't come to the office. They couldn't connect to the network to do their job easily. That gave CIOs or put some pressure on CIOs to think quickly about, okay, what is my digital strategy? Do I need to use a cloud? Do I have to use a cloud? What software packages will work better in the cloud, and how I can make access to those technologies with the with most security in mind. So again, the industry still going through that transformation, but now the time is right. There's a lot of technologies out there, including ours, that would definitely help. Now, the big question is, if you're have a similar situation where you're going through your digital transformation strategy and you don't know where to begin because there is so many things that you need to consider. You know, you need to think about how to become successful. The one advice that the supply chain quarterly organization it's saying is, to be successful, digital projects needs to be tied to other business projects that are linked to the corporate strategy and have financial goal associated with them. So in other words, any digital project you're working on, it has to be tied to well-defined business process. So defining the business process, that's initial. Then applying technology to streamline it or automate, and tie all those results to an ROI, to financial results. That usually will give CIOs more power to go on to the next projects, because you put together, you define the process, you apply the technology, and then you show the benefit of applying that technology. Now, talking a little bit about Highland itself, you might be a manufacturer company, you might be a retailer, you might be an organization that is involved in distribution. You maybe need to get necessary supplies for your facilities. You might be a supply chain provider, might be a transportation provider. Almost every company has or is involved in supply chain somehow and uses shipping documents all over the place. So you don't have to be just a manufacturer, a retailer, or a transportation provider to be involved in supply chain. You could be a hospital, you could be a bank, you could be a university, and still have to be buying product, shipping product, and so forth. So where does Highland software or our technologies fit the best? And in this diagram, you'll see over here showing the how the ecosystem of an organization IT infrastructure or software infrastructure could be. Many of the companies we work with, especially the global ones, might have many trade systems that they have to maintain. Like they might have several ERPs, they might have several transportation management systems, maybe a couple warehouse management systems and global trade systems. Now, to them, they acquired that many trade systems because many of big organizations grew through acquisition. And every time they acquired a new company, they acquired their technology, and it's usually one of the most difficult tasks for the IT department or the R&D department to figure out ways how to make those systems communicate. And a lot of times those systems might have their own way of managing content. They're completely disconnected and siloed, which create a layer of inefficiency on the business process side. So Highland products could be that main single source of truth for anything digitized documents, content, data itself, data streams that could come from one system, get hosted and manipulated and changed and maybe approved in our system. Then through different ways of integration, we could then pass data to other systems. So then you'll have to, instead of managing a business process in 3 separate ERPs or 2 separate TMS systems, you could then streamline that business process into one content services platform like Highland Technologies. In this slide, just showing you some of the pillars that Highland Technology provide. Each one of those boxes represent a technology. They are not disconnected, meaning they're not separate software packages. They all belong to the same content. They connect to the same content repository. So it's really many of our organizations maybe have all of those boxes checked. Some might have 2, some might have 3. It really depends on your solution at the end of the day. There is no one size fits all. Every company might do the same process completely differently. So the technology is there. And the team that would implement it is there and very capable of taking those tools, very flexible tools, and build whatever is needed from digital infrastructure. So that the core to everything before you get to departmental solutions is identify your digital strategy, identify your processes, use content services platform, one of them, connect all your system to that, make that system your way of capturing documents, capturing data, and then start introducing business processes, automation into departmental solutions. So in this slide, it's showing you how we could go from the core system. Core system could be your ERP, could be your TMS, could be your warehouse management system, could be a combination of those. Actually, most companies we work with, they have some or even all of those kind of systems to run their supply chain and operations. of different types. I'm not naming specific packages because we could integrate with any of them. And then you add that layer of the Highland, the content layer, where it becomes the single source of truth for anything digitized data. And then we start adding the automation tools on top to automate those documents, automate those data into what your business process. So, for example, when I receive a proof of delivery, what is my business process then? What do I do with that? I already captured it. I already extracted the relevant data from that proof of delivery, and it's now saved inside my Highland platform. Now, what's the next step? Maybe next step, I want to take that, use the workflow platform to communicate with my ERP to start generating the billing packet to my customer, because I did deliver the cargo, as an example. Maybe also next step, I want to be able to combine the bill of lading plus the proof of delivery plus maybe cargo manifest, maybe any receipts, combine them all into one PDF, and then find the email on record and send a billing packet that way to my customer, or maybe send it to my mailing room to be printed because that customer requires a paper document. So the streamlining could be going any way you could think of, because the technology itself is very flexible, configurable tools that you could adapt to the way your business process goes. So you'll see in those examples, several ideas of departmental solution, and those are just a selected list. There's a lot more into that. Again, business process in this example, end-to-end cargo shipping process. The thing I want you to pay attention on here is notice how many documents, different document types, has been generated throughout the journey of, cargo or a product being manufactured and then sold, then shipped all the way to the consumer or consignee. Throughout the way, there is always new documents being generated. So if you're the consignee, you're that retailer, you probably have to aggregate all those documents that related to just one shipment. Could take from 19 to sometimes 50 different documents. Now, if you're using an ECM or content services technology like Highland provide, you might have a solution dedicated to digital shipment folders. And this is just an example what that digital folder could include, beside hosting and relating shipping documents together based on a specific criteria, like maybe a bill of lading, or could be an internally generated reference number, or could be quotation number or PO number, whatever that main number that the technology could use to relate those documents to create that one shipment folder. Now, the benefit of that, after you create it, yes, it's easily retrievable. It's easily you could know if there is something missing. Maybe there is a required document needed for customs clearance. Let's say you're a retailer in Saudi and you ship your raw material, or not a raw material, it's not for manufacturing, but you ship your product that you sell from, let's say, China. So the requirement on your side, you become an importer to the Saudi customs, and you'll have some obligations from a compliance perspective to have the required documents needed for each shipment to perform the customs clearance, or they call it entry clearance. Now, many organizations, they have departments dedicated to do that. Pretty much lots of them still work in paper and email. A lot of times there is delays in getting the clearance on time because inability to locate the required documents. Now, having a technology that would organize those documents in a way that makes sense for an import, for example, it'll make it very easy to know if there is a required document missing. So if there is a certificate of origin is missing, a lot of times that's a very required document to the customs authority to give you the clearance. So you have to find it and get it before you could apply your entry. So again, using a very simple part of our software just to construct those what we call shipment folders, it could give you a lot of return on investment when it comes to finding data and being compliant with governmental regulations. Another idea of how a departmental solution or automation on a departmental level could benefit. Many organizations, especially manufacturing and retail, supply chain operators, sometimes they work on a very small margin. So in big part of their revenue or annual revenue is usually being spent on freight. So any solution or any technology that would help you reduce that freight spend is usually very, very attractive, especially to like CEOs and CFOs. We work with a lot of companies on using the technology to do everything I said earlier, but also to add the extra layer of let's do that matching, let's do the auditing, using the technology to help you identify when there is an overcharge, to help you identify when there is an area that it could give you indication or gives your workers an indication you could be saving money by not working with this vendor or not contracting with this carrier. So this is just an example. We definitely, DigiNation team will be happy to discuss any of those solution with you if you may choose to. The next few slides will give you just the breakdown of how Highland software can identify companies within this industry. So to us, cargo movers is one of the categories we look at. It is all the 3PLs, carriers, forwarders, could be terminal operators at Saudi terminals. We identify those as cargo movers because they're the ones who's providing that service to move cargo from A to Z. Cargo owners could be the shippers, importers, exporters, which really means like manufacturers, retailers, and maybe distribution centers and consumers. Retailers, it could be a grocery store, could be a clothing store, could be a distributor for automotive. Any of those could use the same exact solutions that I was describing earlier. The third bucket is usually on the regulatory area, and this is where we communicate and sell into customs authorities around the world, port and airport authorities, and Department of Transportation. So the reason I showed you that breakdown earlier is to get to this slide to talk about Highland market share within this area. So on Highland side, when we break down our go-to-market strategy by verticals. So we sell into healthcare, insurance, banking, government, and everything else. We categorize it under commercial practice. And inside commercial, we have sub-industries like logistics, manufacturing, retail, and others. Now, under that commercial bucket that could have over 6,000 active customers globally, about 30% of that is just those two buckets, cargo movers and cargo owners. You see, we have about over 700 manufacturers globally. over 500 distributors, over 200 retailers, doing different solutions. Some doing an organization level solution, some doing just departmental solutions, some doing one department. So really, the technology is so flexible, and it could be expanded. Could start at one area and expand to the rest, or you could start it at the core as part of your digital strategy, then start adding the workflow automation and case management and other areas we discussed. We also have many cargo movers of different type over here, and we broke it down by smaller categories. But I just wanted to share that with you to show you how we're kind of spread across the supply chain. So we're not just seeing the mover side, but also seeing the cargo owner side, and also we're connected with government entities. So we're seeing everybody's side, and that really gives us a lot of experience in basically any future project implementation. Some of our selected customers for Highland, some of those are maintained and serviced by DigiNation. Some is global customers, but I just wanted to show you, the fast difference of customers from governmental entities to manufacturing to airlines to oil and gas companies to healthcare companies to construction companies to massive ocean carrier companies. We're connected, and we're working with many of those entities on a global level. Also, I wanted to share with you very quickly some of Highland thought leadership. We are not just making and selling and implementing software for this industry. We are also involved with many standard setting organizations around the world, and this is a list of some of the organizations that we are participating in our participation. Not just we pay the dues and that's it, but we actually participate on actual committees and work groups. And the reason we do that is because this is our way of getting insight on what's going on in this world, what is coming up, what's new. And by learning that firsthand, first of all, we're informing that to our R&D department. If we see that there is a feature that will benefit our customers in the future, we could put that in place already. And also to pass those information to you. If you become a customer, we pass this information to our partners around the world, which then in their turn, they turn it into their customers. Again, digital transformation, it's a journey. Some companies are already in this wooden wheel, starting there. Some are starting way at the early stage. That's no problem. Technology is there. There is a lot of different packages in the world. We have a very intuitive technology that could be really a building block of your digital transformation strategy. There is other things you need to worry about, like discussed, but definitely having a content services repository or technology would definitely simplify how you streamline your digital content going forward. The end of this is what everybody's trying to do in the world is really how would I have end-to-end supply chain. And again, one of the ways that could help you is by digitizing. So this is the end of the webinar. We are not done yet. I'm happy to answer some questions. I think Dima or Mario, can you guys see is there any questions in there for us to answer? Because I think we have about 10 minutes that we could take some questions. And if we don't get to your question, we will definitely respond to you via email.
Okay, hello guys, thank you for attending. So I can see some questions in the chat. If you haven't asked yet, you can post your question in the QA tab. So first question is for Rami. What systems are the best to manage all of this supply chain process? Can this all be done with one solution?
So the simple question, if we're talking about digitization of your content, yes, absolutely. So one of our platforms are being used as the single source of truth for any digitized content. Now, when you're talking about the bigger supply chain network, you have to have an ERP system. You have to have a transportation management system. You have to have a warehouse management system. If you're talking about those, yes, there is some packages that could do all those three together. We integrate with systems like SAP and Oracle, and they do have packages that could have modules that touch warehouse management and transportation management, and as the bigger picture, a big ERP. The smaller players in this space, I'm not talking about the content services, but like the ERP world, they might have just an ERP, meaning just the financials, doesn't do anything in a warehouse or other areas. But regardless, the core of digital transformation is you need to think, beside identifying your processes, you need to think of where are you going to put those digitized content? Do you want to put them in siloed systems, or you want to put them in one area that you have easy and secure access to? And also you could use that technology that it is part of the ECM solution or content service solution to streamline your processes. So if you have several ERPs as in one organization, you're going to have to worry about the business process, let's say, of an invoice journey in each one of those to do approval separately in each one of those. But if you're using ECM solution, beside archiving and digitizing, you're also using our configurable workflow to have one business process that you could manage. I hope that answered the question. If not, please let us know. We could get back to you. Any other question, Dima?
Yeah, so we have a question for Mario. It's someone is asking how to go about engaging with DigiNation or Highland to assess the user requirements.
Very good question, Dima. Thank you. Both DigiNation and Highland are here to support you. You know, DigiNation has nationwide coverage. In fact, they have international coverage, and obviously Highland has multinational coverage. So please do contact us, and we will jump into your questions to assess your assessments very quickly. Thank you.
Okay, so we have one more, Rami, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so someone is asking, can your technology easily integrate with other systems like ERP, TMS, WMS, or even a green screen?
Yes, that's a great question. We do already have different methodology to integration. Number one, we already have many connectors into big systems like SAP or Oracle or Workday and others. Those are built-in connectors. Now, there's also integration methodology when it comes to integrating via direct database lookups, flat file lookups and ingestion, web services, or API integration. Now, from our perspective, from our technology, we have all the methods, all the tools currently on the market to perform an integration. It's usually always dependent on the other software we're integrating with. Does that software publish a web service, for example? Could it publish a web service? Could it allow a direct database lookup? Does it have APIs that we could integrate with? A lot of times the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. There is old school packages like green screen, for example. How do you integrate with that? We also have a technology that allow us to do screen level integration without touching the code. So the answer is, to us, yes, it's very easy because we've done it many times and with a lot of different technologies from different sides of the world. Any other question, Dima?
Okay, so I guess we're done. I guess someone was trying to ask Mohammed, which industries DigiNation serve in?
Yes, yes, Dima. For the industries, DigiNation have a lot of experience with Highland and other solutions, and many industries like logistics, manufacturing, healthcare, and also the government sector, insurance companies, financial sector. Most of the sectors we already have experience and already done a lot of project there. So yes, we can help with most of the industries in the market.
Okay. So again, guys, you probably get an email back from DigiNation with the recording and the contact information of the team. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask us more questions, get us engaged. We definitely will be very happy to answer any question you have. I think we're done. We're 3 minutes early, so we'll give you some time for your afternoon, and hopefully we'll get to meet again soon. Thank you, everybody.